After 4 weeks of looking forward to every Wednesday, knowing I'd be treated to 2 new episodes of Dispatch, the episodic superhero workplace comedy has come to an end. Dispatch was one of my most anticipated games this year, maybe even the one I looked forward to the most. But was that hype justified? This review contains no spoilers.
Hello, Robert. A moment of your time.
How do you move so quiet?
I float. If it would make you more comfortable, I could remove my clothes as well.
It would not.
Superhero stories are often more of the same. Luckily, that's not the case with Dispatch. Protagonist Robert Robertson, I know, he knows, everyone knows, aka Mecha Man, owes his superpowers to his mech suit. When his arch-nemesis Shroud outsmarts him and destroys the suit, Robert, played by Aaron Paul, is forced into early superhero retirement. Before long, he's approached by superhero Blonde Blazer, played by Erin Yvette. She offers him a chance to repair the suit as long as he agrees to work for the superhero Dispatch network. She wants him to use his knowledge and experience to train and dispatch a team of rehabilitating supervillains. It's an opportunity our protagonist can't pass up, so he takes charge of a squad of misfits who, to put it mildly, need a lot of work.
Chill out, lady, haha. Let the man talk.
Okay, whoa.
Shit, you hipster motherfucker. Over here looking like Mumford fucked all his sons.
Dispatch is built almost entirely around interactive cutscenes, so it's essential that the game grabs your attention. Luckily, it looks stunning from start to finish. I'm not usually an anime fan or anything close to this style, but if Dispatch ever became a TV show, I'd be glued to my screen every week. The animations, character models and environments are all brought to life beautifully. The fights look cool and dynamic, while shadows and lighting effects make the already well-designed characters and settings stand out even more. Whether you're watching an intense battle or a simple office conversation, scenes always pop off the screen. On top of that, every voice actor nails their role. Aaron Paul, known to many as Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad, gives Robert an understated but irresistible charm. He sounds a bit worn out, sarcastic and dry at times, but he's also ambitious, inspiring and quick-witted.
Nice meeting you, Royd, even if it was while we were both holding our dicks.
You one funny bugger, Mecha Man.
You'd almost think the cast recorded their lines in the same room, because his chemistry with the rest of the so-called Z-team is incredibly convincing. And the cast includes even more big names. Laura Bailey, who played Abby in The Last of Us Part 2 and Mary Jane in Spider-Man, voices team member Invisigal, while Jeffrey Wright, who played Bernard Lowe in Westworld and Isaac, also in The Last of Us Part 2, lends his voice to Chase. I could go on, but the core is simple. There's not a single weak link. Every character, big role or small, feels authentic. Dispatch is one of the funniest games I've ever played, maybe even the funniest.
Such a bitch whose name is Robert. I'm a bitch, I'm a bitch. I'm such a fucking bitch. I have no hopes, I have no dreams. And a tiny little thing, and it doesn't even function anyway. Give it a dysfunction, so protect me as I am.
Dispatch's humor is adult, dry, crude, packed with swearing, razor sharp and almost always right on the edge. The perfect combo if you ask me. And it fits the story perfectly. You're dealing with a team of supervillains here. They're not exactly sweethearts. They're quick to blow up, flambe quite literally. They go for each other's throats at the slightest provocation, and they'd honestly prefer not to be part of working life at all. Basically how I feel at the office, but that's beside the point. The 8 episodes each run for about an hour, and every single time I watch them with a big grin on my face from start to finish. A lot of the humor is painfully relatable too. Comments about colleagues who don't wash their hands after going to the bathroom, the unbearable people who wear sunglasses indoors and at night. Even though the world is fictional and filled with heroes and villains, it sometimes gets very close to reality.
You are sunglasses indoors at night, guy. Your superpower is that you're able to let everyone know in the room that you're a douchebag, because you should literally never do that unless you're at the final table of the World Series of Poker, but even then, if you win, you're still a fucking loser.
Shit. That is... damn.
You good?
On top of the relatable jokes, the different superpowers are used brilliantly to tap into an even stranger but just as hilarious kind of humor. I lost it when Sonar, who can transform into a giant bat, tried to storm out of the office in a rage but didn't manage to grab the doorknob with his oversized claw. And when Coupe sliced open her own hand to squeeze out some ketchup for her snack, I found myself shaking my head, laughing and thinking, how the hell did they come up with this stuff? At this point you might be wondering where the actual gameplay comes in. Don't worry, the game surprises on that front too. Between the cutscenes, you'll be dispatching your team. Shocking, I know. The interface switches to a computer screen where, for about 10 minutes, different calls come in with emergency requests. It's up to you to decide which team member to send out for each job. These calls vary wildly. Think helping an old lady cross the street, giving a presentation to a group of kids, or stopping an armed robbery. Every supervillain, or at this point technically every superhero, has their own specific strength. The 5 main stats are combat, vigor, mobility, charm and intelligence. You pick the character whose stats match the situation best. For preventing a robbery, combat and vigor are the obvious picks. While helping someone cross the street or leaving a good impression is better suited to a charming team member. Sometimes you need to look beyond the stats. Each superhero has a dossier you can check at any time, giving you insight into their special abilities. Knowing Invisigal can turn invisible makes her a smart choice for avoiding camera surveillance. Flambe's fire resistance can help him clear out a burning building. Although his love for fire means this can easily backfire. Pun intended. When you send a hero out, they obviously won't be available for any other jobs for a while. Even after they finish the task, or fail it, they go into a short rest period. This means you can easily accept a new call that needs a hero whose skill set you temporarily no longer have access to. Some jobs only allow you to dispatch 1 hero, while others let you send 2, 3 or even 4. That doesn't mean you have to fill every available slot. If you think one hero's individual stat is high enough, you can choose to leave the remaining slots empty. It lowers your overall chance of success, but it also keeps more team members free for other calls. At the end of a job, you'll see whether your chosen hero succeeded. Based on your decisions, the hero's stats and their special abilities, you get a certain percentage chance of success.
Damn. Good work.
Sometimes you can be so overpowered that success is guaranteed, but most of the time the percentage still leaves room for chance. So even with a success rate of 70% or more, you can still fail if luck turns against you. The superheroes can also level up after completing a call successfully. You can assign 1 extra skill point to one of their 5 main stats. Additional bonuses can also be unlocked, like a temporary stat boost after a successful mission or a faster completion time when you send out a hero alone. Leveling requires careful thought too. You can choose to push certain heroes to excel in one specific stat or make them more well-rounded. Too much of one and too little of another can easily come back to bite you later on. Where the required stats are easy to guess in the early episodes, later calls become more cryptic in how they're described. You'll need to pay more attention to each hero's special abilities instead of relying blindly on their stats. Calls come in so frequently that things can get pretty hectic too, and you'll often find yourself with only a few heroes left to deploy. It fits the job of a dispatcher well, where chaos is undoubtedly part of daily life. You have to answer calls within a certain time frame, and more than once I missed them entirely. Part of that was my own lack of oversight in the moment, but at other times I genuinely struggled to reach the right call in time. It wasn't always clear what I had selected or which direction I needed to navigate to get to the correct call as quickly as possible. It could be a bit frustrating, especially when I knew I could have answered the call in time if the interface had cooperated. Luckily, the result of your workday doesn't matter much anyway. There are no real consequences to how good or bad you are at dispatching, nor to many of the choices you make outside of it. The fact that your performance during dispatching has little to no impact can be seen as both a strength and a weakness. There's less at stake and players might feel less pressure to perform. This can take away some of the tension during dispatching. On the other hand, it also saves you from unnecessary frustration. The small annoyance I just mentioned is never punished, which is nice. There were also moments where I failed the hacking minigame several times in a row, which gets slightly harder each episode as well. At one point I had to hack open a safe in the heat of the moment. After failing 3 times, I genuinely thought the character I was trying to protect might pay for my mistakes with her life. But the safe just popped open anyway. The only difference between a successful hack and my failure streak was Robert sounding surprised, saying he didn't actually do anything. Part of me was disappointed to see confirmed that nothing I did actually mattered, but another part was relieved that messing up the minigame wouldn't derail the story. The same largely applies to the choices you make during dialogue. Often there's a subtle difference in tone or the specific words Robert uses, but the outcome is the same 9 times out of 10. Early in the game, when I witnessed a robbery, I chose to intervene during my first playthrough. In my second playthrough, I decided to do nothing, but Robert ignored my command and confronted the robbers anyway. If I had to name one downside to the game, it would be this. The illusion of choice is very present, which is a common issue in many games of this type. Only a handful of decisions have real impact, the rest is negligible. But because the rest of the game is so well crafted, I didn't mind. I was more than happy to be pulled along by the story, even if I didn't have much control over it. Alright, one more drawback. This patch is too short. This patch will always be too short, even if it had 20 episodes. I don't think I'll ever get enough of this cast or the writing. Every week I looked forward to Wednesday, and right on time I'd sit down to download the 2 fresh episodes and play through them immediately. Wednesdays won't feel the same anymore. The episodic release took me right back to the days where I'd wait week after week for new episodes of my favorite show. Close enough together to stay invested in the story, far enough apart to build up hype and anticipation again. I'll accept only 2 outcomes. Either this patch becomes an actual TV series, or we get more seasons, preferably both. The conclusion. This patch was one of my most anticipated games this year, and despite my already high expectations, it managed to surpass every single one of them. The game sets itself apart from others in the genre with its unique humor, stylish art direction, and memorable characters and performances. Unlike many choice-driven games, the gameplay here is more original than simply walking around looking for interactable objects. Dispatching was always fun to do and could easily work as a standalone game. There are few real consequences tied to the choices you make during dispatching or outside of it. But once you temper your expectations around that and focus on the wonderful pacing of an incredibly entertaining story, you'd end up with a game that belongs to the crème de la crème of 2025. And that's a fantastic achievement. Thank you for checking out this review. If you liked what you saw, please click on subscribe and I'll try my best to provide more of these videos in the near future. And for more of my thoughts on the gaming world, new and old games, please check out bornfrommedia.com.